Today is story time.
I like stories.
Stories. And we're going to see if we can get the story right. Hello and welcome back.
Hello, everyone.
What story are we going to talk about today, hon?
We're going to talk about the day I asked Amanda out, which is December 5th, 2018.
Can you get it right?
I doubt it.
There's going to be something that we're both going to mess up on something in our story. But we are excited to share our dating anniversary story with you all, and hopefully in a format that we can watch again and again in the future as well.
Yeah, should be fun. See what happens. We'll see how many details we get wrong or little tidbits that we never even thought about.
And before we get into our story, we're gonna talk about what we did for our anniversary. So this past weekend, to celebrate our dating anniversary, as well as kind of our 2-month being married anniversary, we went back to our honeymoon location. And this time we brought a friend, or a niece, a toddler, whatever you want to call her.
A woman who doesn't, a little girl.
We
little
spoiled
girl
her.
Woman who doesn't let me call her crazy.
And so we brought our niece to Duluth, and we went to see the Bentleyville Christmas lights, as well as the Christmas City Express train, or the Christmas train, which I think she really enjoyed.
I do too.
I didn't know that she was that fascinated in trains, but all she wanted to do was to go inside of the trains, even the trains within the museum. She wanted to go into all of them, even though you can't go into all of them, and so it did kind of upset her about that, is that she couldn't go into all of these trains.
Yeah.
But we did want to share some stories from this weekend with that. Going up, it was really nice. It was a beautiful drive. A lot of the birch trees were very white, leafless. There was no snow on our drive up. There was no snow at Bentleyville. It was a little nippy, a little cold, but it was a beautiful drive. Hello! Say hi, Ella. Ella, where are we going? What are we gonna go see?
She's kind of in shock right now. You think that's funny? Are we going to see a choo-choo train?
So, as part of our vlog this week, as part of our anniversary, for Colin finally asking me out, our first date included Christmas lights, and this anniversary will too.
Awesome.
So where are we going, Colin?
We are going up to Duluth and Bentleyville. We're going to ride on a Christmas Express choo-choo train.
And we brought Ella with us.
The one and only Ella Petrie.
And she's hoping to see Santa, right?
Are we going to see Santa?
Oh, you saw Santa today? Should we see him again? Well, yeah, we'll see him by the choo-choo train. So you want to see him again? Okay. is that? Who's on there? Is it Uncle Colin? And who? Yeah? Is it a Christmas card? Is it for Mama? That's pretty cool. Yeah, we'll give it to her today. Should we put it back in the envelope? Where's the envelope? Okay, you want to put it in?
Stickers.
What kind of stickers? What are they? Turn it around. More stickers. More? That's a lot. What are you gonna do with them? You're gonna put them on paper? Are you gonna make a pretty card for someone? A birthday card? For me, my birthday's a long time from now. You know, Auntie Teresa's birthday's coming up. You wanna make a card for Auntie Teresa's birthday? Yeah, it is. How old are you gonna be? 3? That's so cool.
Show me your magic powers.
Whoa.
Wow. That's really cool. Who again?
What are you doing with the rings? You're making one go through the other. That's so magical. It takes a trained magician.
Yeah. Very nice, very nice. Well, we're almost to Duluth here, so we're gonna sign off and we'll be back soon. Say bye to everyone.
Bye. There was definitely a lot of traffic, but that's okay.
Notice
We
how
got
she's
there still.
accenting the word snow. I mean, something's coming.
Yes, so it's obviously December, and this year we haven't seen a whole lot of snow yet.
Right.
Especially even here where we live in southern Minnesota, we haven't seen a whole lot of snow. But on our drive back from Bentleyville, it was the complete opposite from when we went. It was icy and snowy, and we learned a lot about the brakes on the car and how hard it is to actually stop. Luckily, there was like no traffic or anything because we were just kind of in a small little town that we had to stop at a stop sign, and we slid, not through it, but we definitely stopped after it, not before it.
Which is what I normally do when I'm...
But we had a lot of snow on our way back. But while we were up there, we arrived right about 5 o'clock when Bentleyville opens, and we were sitting in line, and the sweetest but saddest little thing happened. My niece we had some little like pool diving rings that sink in the pool that you can go and collect. We had a couple of those that we had picked up from my mom's house, and my niece was playing with them in the car. Well, we got up there, and once we were kind of just sitting there in line, we rolled the windows down because it wasn't that cold out, and she decided that it would be really cool to see, you know, like if you could just hold it out the window. Well, she's 2, and so she dropped it out the window. And in the sweetest little voice, she had to tell us that she dropped it, and she couldn't explain what she had lost out the window, just that she had lost something out the window, or that something had gone out the window. And I saw it in the rear view mirror as we were pulling forward in all of this traffic, that there was this bright pink ring laying on the ground. And if the traffic was any slower, I told myself, yeah, I could have gotten out and grabbed it, but that it wasn't a big deal. It, you know, maybe it was $1, maybe less than $1.
Yeah.
I think the packet of 6 it was like maybe $3. So you're talking about a 50-cent ring laying on the ground. But she was devastated. She cried about it, about how sorry she was that she lost Auntie's ring, and that it was such a big, profound deal for her. That idea of big emotions in a small body, that she just couldn't hold in these emotions of how sad she was. And so that was all she would talk about, was how sorry she was for losing this ring. And then we got to Bentleyville, and
wow, so many stickers on it.
You can see Fred's faces.
Yeah.
No. Because I have some stickers on them.
Let me see again.
I'm getting these
Hold it up again.
stickers off. I'm getting these stickers off. Shutters.
Well, let me see.
I'm fixing this.
it was, you know, it was a struggle. She actually called it boring. She said she was bored.
Yeah. A lot of people.
A lot of people. The lights, they're beautiful, but I think very extremely stimulating for her, that it really wasn't as cool as seeing a few lights once in a while and her pointing out the lights, because on our drive from Bentleyville to the train, she would point out the small things like, oh, look at the Christmas tree. There's another Christmas tree, like a little bit like further down the block. Versus she didn't point out any of the lights in Bentleyville. All she would say is like, I have to show you something, and would show us like a string of lights. And so we went through Bentleyville, and I guess she was excited about the huge tree in Bentleyville. And so if you've never seen this huge tree, fun fact, on our honeymoon, we sat in traffic because they were moving this tree from like their storage lot to the park where they would have it up for Bentleyville. Well, we sat there for like 20 minutes as this crane and probably 24 workers like helped move this slowly down the road and then pivot it so that they could get it in without like banging it around. And so that was pretty cool to like see it in pieces as they were moving it and like having that experience. But that was the one thing she was fascinated with.
Yeah.
And then we went to the Christmas City Express, which I thought it was just going to be a train ride.
We got the story before. That's where they brought the author out. Cheryl was her name, and she gathered all the kids up front while big kids like myself sat in the back, and she told her story on how she was on this train ride just like we were gonna go on, and it was a big winter storm one night, and the train got stuck, got stranded, and everyone was freaking out. The conductor was freaking out, and Santa eventually came because the author Cheryl was so worried that Santa wouldn't find her because she was supposed to be at her grandparents' house. But Santa did find her and gave her a special ornament,
which was a snowflake. That was cold. The words say it's cold to the touch but never melting. And so this was a gift and a reminder of Santa coming to them on the step train. Well, the great opportunity was this was very interactive. The kids got to, say some of the words. They got to teach the conductor how to drink hot chocolate. And that was fun. It was blow, sip, sigh.
Yeah.
And so, of course, we have our hot chocolate celebrating our anniversary and looking back at what we did this weekend. And so we went on the train. They had hot chocolate and cookies.
Very hot chocolate.
Yes, very hot. It eventually cools down. But the really funny part about this train ride, besides it was great. It was fun. There was Christmas lights. It went back and forth. We drove past Bentleyville, and so you could see the lights from the train. Then there was a gentleman that came with his guitar, and we were singing carols. And there was lights within the train and on the station. And what did the little 2-year-old do? She needed to find that ring because she was still so sad that she lost that ring. And so she spent the entire time, even when I pointed out the lights, not looking at the lights, she would say, I'm looking for the ring.
Hey, Ella, smile. Ella, smile. Ah, my lost ring. Can you smile? Smile. Can you smile? Look at Auntie. Okay. The pink ring?
Out my window.
Why'd you lose it out the window?
Because I'm trying to look for it.
Well, what happened with it? Did you drop it out the window?
Yes.
Oh, no.
But us can get it back.
Yeah. And then what are you going to do with it?
I'm going to just get it back for you.
Yeah, so you can do magic tricks?
Yes. I'm going to lose it again.
Won't lose it again. Perfect. Are you going to take it home?
No, I'm going to some next weekend.
Oh, okay.
With you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's hope we can find the ring then. You can show Mama your magic trick then.
My mama?
Yeah, you can show her your magic trick. And Granny? Can you smile though? Hey, can you smile? Just smile pretty. Just smile pretty. Where are you going? You're not smiling. No, you gotta stay still. I can't take a picture that way. Look at the bridge out the window. Isn't that a cool bridge?
I lost your ring.
Oh, okay.
Your swimming ring.
Yeah.
And then there was one point that I told her I think we found it. There was surprisingly a very clear pink thing in the road. And this ring is not that big.
Right.
It's not that crazy in size, and it's not like that thick of a pink band. But from the
color
train,
helped out, I think.
from the train, there was this fluorescent pink ring on the ground that I pointed out to her that I think I saw it. And the rest of the ride, what would she say?
I see it.
I see it. I see your ring. And we were miles away from the ring.
Yeah.
And she had me come to that side of the train so that she could show me where the ring was as she's pointing off far in the distance that there she sees the ring. And so we did actually videotape the part of the road where this ring is, just to show you guys and to show her actually that we could go back and look and see where the ring was.
Yeah.
And it was great because we could also see where like the speed limit sign was, so we knew exactly where we should be looking for this pink thing in the road that we assume is our ring. And we told her, and we said, okay, we're gonna go get the ring, don't worry. Like, she kept apologizing, but she was so excited when we got that ring. It was like the snowflake in Cheryl's story, that cold to the touch but never melting snowflake. It was the proudest thing that she had, was this little ring that she lost and we found. And I could tell you, I definitely, as we were driving and kind of looking for it, I was spending so much time saying like, okay, St. Anthony, like, we just need to find this ring. Like, I get she's sorry, I wasn't upset with her, but we need to find this ring, St. Anthony. Like, just come on, let's find it. And so it was great to have that. And obviously then we continued to spoil her. We took her out to dinner. It was really late and she fell asleep before we even got the food on the table. She was laying in the booth, feet up, wrapped in his coat, sleeping.
Mm.
And I was trying to eat with one hand because I was waiting for the time that she slides off the booth. And so, you know, it was a long night for her. And then when we got back in the car, she definitely was tired and not really sure where she was. So Mommy had to help us by video chatting her so that she could calm down a little bit. But then we got home at like 1:30 in the morning. But it was a glorious day.
It was an enjoyable weekend with some pretty enjoyable and spoiled people. All not named me.
He's pretty spoiled. He's wrapped up in a soft blanket. I made him hot
it's 10 o'clock.
I made him hot chocolate without
That's my
him
bedtime.
even asking. And I made it good hot chocolate.
Yeah, see?
Delicious. So, let's get back to our anniversary.
Yes, before it leaves and doesn't come back for another 364 days. So since this was kind of impromptu, how do we want to ask these questions? 'Cause
Don't worry.
some of mine are pretty
Let
random.
me get back to the story. So, on a cold December night, on December 5th, 2019, I came from a simple little meeting to find Colin on the 5th floor of the library in the large conference room. And there he told me that we were going to make some posters and see if I wanted to go with him to the SMSU basketball game against MSU in Mankato, and that, hey, we should make some posters for them. We had already been talking about going to this game, and I gave him the recommendation that I had some really nice poster board in my apartment. Well, he told me, oh, no. I know Lori Baker, when we had our meeting, there's some poster board in that cabinet over there. Okay. So I go over to this cabinet. I open the one side. No poster board. Look back at him and I ask him, like, well, I don't see any. You sure you don't want to just go to my apartment? I've got some tag board that I'm just not using. We could use that. We could make our posters for the basketball game. He goes, oh no, it's on the other side. I open that other side and there's no poster board. Now both doors are open and there's no poster board in this little cabinet thing. And I look back at him.
Very, very confused.
Telling him that
Kind of like C.S.
there's no poster board in there.
Lion Witch in the Wardrobe.
And so, kind of lets me roll with it. There's no poster board in there. But then, starts talking about, like, the writing on the board. And I think he forgot the fact that I don't like to read. Because he wrote a lot on this board.
It was on like 5 lines. Shows how much.
It was a lot.
Shows how much he really doesn't like to read.
A lot of words. Yeah, it was more than like, will you go out with me? That's like the limit for me. I don't really like to read. Unless it's like really good, like a good storyline, I like to read.
Apparently my proposal was not a good storyline.
Not really. But so, just to back it up a little bit, what I hadn't mentioned yet was the fact that he had to call my roommate, my best friend several times to figure out things that I liked, my favorite candy, favorite drink, how he was going to ask me out, all these questions. And she had to keep her mouth shut, and she didn't know exactly what was going on. She was a little confused. Our other friends were a little confused, but they were encouraging him to ask me out.
So the message said, and these all played off of food and beverage items that I gave to her in her out. So I said, I heard from the lemon vine that your favorite color is gray. Then in parentheses I said, sorry, red will have to do. Truth be told, you have a big piece of my heart. I do not know how to be any more forward than this. And then I asked, do I need to pay you? Feel free to take a few minutes or 5 to think about this. But I was wondering, would you like to go out with me? And that was the message on the board.
But yeah, so he wrote this on the board. He had some lemonade, some Reese's, not really gray writing or black writing, it was red, on this big board that I did not see. It took forever for me to see it. And then I kind of just
One moment.
stood there dumbfounded because, it took me a while to read. So finally I was like, oh, yes, sure, yes, I will. And all of a sudden, his friends come out of the, little kitchen, and they go, geez, that took forever, because obviously they weren't expecting me to be like, oh, well, no, we could just go back to my apartment, and we can just make them there, and, this long, profound, why we could just go somewhere else to make them. Then we did have our friend Ratsumi took a picture of us, our first official picture as a couple.
Yeah.
But to also plug in a little extra story snippet, our first date, we drove to Mankato. We had to make a stop in New Ulm first because we wanted to get his handicap parking pass so that we could park closer to the building, you would think. But then we came to MSU, and the guy told us, the lot is full. Go park over here. So we parked over at the football lot. Then, which is not, it's really bumpy, not really accessible. Had to cross the street. You either had to walk a block this way or a block that way for the nearest crosswalk. And the building we were going was right across from the lot. So we might have crossed there with no traffic. We went and we saw the girls' basketball game, and then we went to go get hot dogs and Mountain Dew. The worst hot dog and the Mountain Dew was warmer than the air, and the hot dog, they didn't cook hot dogs during the women's sport, so I ended up having to go across the building to get him a hot dog. We watched part of the men's game, which then went into a very long break due to an injury. But it made a long game. But it was still a good game. We sat actually by our friend Morgan's mom. And so that was really cool because that was one of Colin's friends or someone that he knew on the team, Colin's friend. And so we were actually going to see her as one of our people that we were actually really cheering on, hoping that she could be out playing. Otherwise, we had several other students that we really enjoyed cheering on throughout their season. We ended up had to make a night out of it. And one of my favorite things to do, obviously, since we went to Duluth, is to look at Christmas lights. And so
In the car.
yeah, so we drove through the Kiwanis lights. And so it did make a long night, but it was really fun. And then our second date was that Saturday. Colin took me out to dinner at Hunan Lion in Marshall. The fancier part of our first few dates, because the other one he was just wearing a t-shirt, so t-shirt and jogging pants, nothing super special. And then this one we got all dressed up. He wore a polo for our second date. For fun, we wanted to do some questions and see if if we can remember specific things.
Yeah. So did you want to go first? Did you want to alternate?
We can alternate.
Okay, so you did answer. I had a total of 10 questions, but you did answer some of these.
That's fine. I think I answered some of mine. I gave you the answer to some of mine.
Okay. So I have, what candy bar, what specific candy bar did I get you when I asked you out?
Specific? Well, it was Reese's.
Right.
Is it a Take 5?
It was a Take 5,
Yeah.
yes.
Which is actually one of my favorites. It's not my favorite. So Heidi, you get half a point. What was my favorite drink from Res Dining that you've always tried to get me, but you failed and got me? Lavender water.
Lavender water. So your favorite, I believe, was a Thai basil water.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm thinking about it. Actually, it wasn't the day you asked me out that you got me that lavender water.
It was
before that. Yeah.
Or before that.
It was before that. So you got me the lavender water that was awful. But you got me lemonade because it was the safe way to go.
So then I have who was playing in the basketball game that we went to the following night.
Sadie, Malia.
I was looking for the two teams, but you answered that.
Oh, SMSU, MSU. What was I wearing when you asked me out?
Clothes.
Ah!
I believe it was like your RHA SMSU like quarter zip.
Oh. No. It was like that shirt that's patterned.
Oh,
like the multicolor kind of. I don't know. I always called it I felt like it was a very tribal.
Can I play off that question then?
Tribal one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, what was I wearing?
A Minnesota Gopher shirt.
Coach Lindsay Whalen, welcome back to the bar. Now that you say that patterned shirt, I remember what I was wearing.
And a Gopher shirt is not that hard to guess.
No.
That's
in college, that's
all
like
he
half
wore.
of my was when I asked you out, what was I drinking? Still one of my favorite drinks to this day.
Cherry Coke.
Wow. Yes.
Although cherry vanilla Coke is a better option.
I would agree, but that specific night it was not cherry vanilla.
I know. And that's about the same time the orange Coke was pretty popular in Res Dining.
What food and drink did I have at MSU? You answered that one.
Yeah. Hot dog and Mountain Dew.
And then what did we do after?
Kiwanis lights.
By what method did I ask you out?
Writing on the whiteboard.
And your reply?
Wasn't actually yes. It was finally.
Well, hey, you wrote on the board.
Oh. I don't remember.
You drew something on the board.
I don't remember.
So it was a basketball hoop and a basketball. And you said, of course, you're worth any hoop that we have to jump through. On which floor of the library did I ask you?
The 5th, where
Yeah.
the conference room was.
With whom was I hanging out when I asked you out?
Cody and Cy. And Cody dumped his pop in the elevator. So on our way down, it was you, me, and Levi,
Yeah.
and this puddle of pop.
I remember it flung out of his hands, and then he bent over. He's like, Colin! And it looked like somebody had peed in the elevator.
Yeah.
Which school class project was I working on?
Something for business comp.
No.
Oh.
That was like the night or two before when we worked on the flyer with a Y or an I. But no, I was working on my culture of consumption PowerPoint about fast food restaurants.
Oh.
Which I think you still have because I sent it to you.
Okay, so for whom were we making posters?
SMSU Women's Basketball.
No, but who specifically were making the posters for?
You mean like Morgan?
Yeah. We were making posters for Morgan and Taylor.
Right.
And then, where was I when you decided to plan this spontaneous date proposal?
You were in that meeting.
What meeting?
Senate?
No.
I don't know.
What day of the week is it?
It was a Thursday.
Yeah. So,
RIJ.
yep, RH is always Thursday. True or false? You told me that you love me before you asked me out.
No, true.
And that was a while before he asked me out.
Yeah.
He was already telling me that he loved me and that, what did I just tell you? Maybe someday you'll be part of my family so you can try Grams's green bean casserole. Was like months before he asked me out.
But the common theme before I asked her out, and even sometimes to this day, you know, when I told her that I loved her, it wasn't, oh thanks, love you too, or oh thanks. It was, I know.
Yeah, or uh-huh.
Well,
That's now.
That's
He
now.
goes, I love you. I go, uh-huh.
And usually, the you know, I love you, hon. And if she's mad at me, it's, I love you, hon. And she goes,
Or, okay.
Okay. But that's all I have.
So thank you for joining us on this wild and crazy story about Duluth and our first date, second date, and date proposal. And so whenever you're watching this, I hope you remember how much fun we've had and how our life together has really developed from this spontaneous date proposal.
Yeah, and maybe our next vlog we can build off of this and just kind of talk about, you know, where we've been and where we are now.
Yeah, so if you have any questions that you want us to answer, comment them below and be sure to like, subscribe, and share this video so that we can get more views and get more likes and hopefully be part of your life and you
Part
can
of
be
your family.
Yes. And we can share Grams's green bean casserole with you.
Absolutely.
As well as some other videos about food and recipes. Colin is going to be making cookies this week, and so he normally doesn't bake, doesn't normally cook. So we will vlog throughout the week, and hopefully we will remember to vlog when he's making cookies.
All right.
Have a wonderful night. Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Or day when you're watching this.
Bye-bye.
Bye.